Okay, we've got ourselves a little unboxing video here. This is for the new Marshall Enterprise battle or series of battles dealing with the Prussian campaign of 1806. I've got, it looks like, game number 38. So we're going to open up and take a look at the components. I can tell you that it's a pretty heavy box. As usual with the Marshall Enterprise publications in recent years, they don't have much in the way of any sort of art on the box. And that's to cut down on, of course, printing costs and whatnot. We'll take a look here and see what we've got. So, as usual, stuff to read. Looks like instructions for downloading the rules and the scenario stuff. In years past, they'd had a compact disc or a DVD to download the rules on. Now they're having it up on the cloud. So a couple of pieces of paper. All right, here we have our order of battle. Looks like we've got French and some Prussians here. Here we've got more Prussians. So they usually have stuff here, so that way for getting your game set up, you can place the units right on this and then pull them off a little bit more easily. I like how they've added a few names here. That's kind of nice to help you identify the groups and the leaders. Pretty good size order of battle here for the Prussians. Quite a bit of material and units. And here then we've got the French, and it looks like they've added some identifiers for some of the different organizations, the corps, etc. So that's nice. I like that. That's something that I don't recall having seen with some of their previous publications. All right, here now we've got the combat chart with the fire combat, and here we have then the melee combat and the updated matrix. So I think they've made some adjustments to some of these and cleared up some of the issues they'd had from some of the previous ones. And then we've got some things that are specific for this campaign with some of the different charts here. So that's nice. So you can have pretty easy access, a lot of information you need just on these charts. And here's one for the other player. All right, let's take a look at the units. So here we've got our counters. As with their Austerlitz publication, nice counters here. Good colors and a nice gloss finish to it. And then looking here at the details on the back, the printing is nice and clear and legible. That's always handy. I've discovered that as I'm getting older. I can't read some of the unit counters the way I used to, particularly on those ones that look like they were handwritten from going back into the 80s. So here's more of the French. More of those there. Let's see here. Here it looks like we have some Prussians, and we've got some more French. These must be these cash counters for the Hassenhausen scenario. They look like French flags. That's pretty cool looking. All right, now we're on to the Prussian units. Looks like we've got the different types of artillery specified by the colors and the movement. The different types of grenadier units. Lots and lots of cavalry here. The Prussians really have a considerable amount and very, very large and very, very well motivated. Nice units. All right, and more counters. with various infantry, artillery, and cavalry. These folks over here are part of that Saxon contingent. They were allies with the Prussians. All right, next we've got the usual informational counters. Keep track of what's going on, who's hit, who's in square, tired, exhausted, disordered, and more. Okay, so two sheets of that. All right, and now we start to get to the maps. So I'll open these up and we can look at them in some more detail, but it looks like these first two maps are for, probably, if this is Auerstadt, this is probably for the Hassenhausen scenario. Altengaun, this is probably for Jena, or Jena, I should say. Probably some more Jena. Kapellendorf, yes, this is Jena. All right, the road to Weimar. Okay, yep, that's also Jena. And this is probably the fourth map it's part of. Oh, no, this is for the Battle of Hall. Okay, we'll have to look at that one. And then we've got, this must be for Saalfeld. I'll open up the maps and we can look at them in some more detail. Here we're looking at the map for the Battle of Saalfeld. It's the first one in this campaign, and they've got very nice, clean stuff here. The map itself is a good heavy stock. It's printed here with, we have sort of the fall colors of the season here, the little autumn colors for the harvest and for the trees. The forest here looks like it is also in autumn. And we've got the town of Saalfeld there, and the bridge on that side that the Prussians are trying to defend the crossings. So here's Saalfeld, here's some elements of it. Now we're looking at the Jena map. We've got some of these villages here that were contested early on, moving out towards the center of the map. Now I don't have it perfectly laid out, so I just kind of have it laying down. I wanted to kind of give you guys a sense of the scope. This is a big 4-map battle. This is the one that they have for the two scenarios, for the historical Jena scenario, and then for the sort of what they call the alternate history, or Super Jena, as we were calling it when we were playtesting it at the Duel in the Desert in Tempe. Once again, here you can get a sense of the quality of the graphics with the different images, the town, the gardens, the forests, the slopes, and other terrain. So it's a pretty good size map, and it's a very good quality stock for the paper that it's printed on. And we'll take a look and see what the next map looks like. Now we're looking at the maps for the Battle of Hassenhausen. This is a 2-map battle. If you'd played the previous incarnations of Auerstadt, either published by Clash of Arms or by Marshall Enterprises, you're aware that this was a 1-battle map previously. Now it's 2 maps, so there's a lot more space than for the players to maneuver on. Here we have the little village of Hassenhausen itself, with the sunken road and the wall. Things are a little different. The orientation of the map's a little different than it was with the previous incarnations of the game, but pretty much the same general layout for everything, just a lot more open area around the edges of the map in which to maneuver. And we even have the little village here, or town of Auerstadt, out here in the corner, somewhere for the Prussians to run towards if the French do terribly well, which is a bit of a challenge in this game. When we were play testing it, we found that it plays a lot different from the previous versions of the game, in large part because of some changes in the order of battle for the Prussians and the general arrival of the units. So it's a fun one, a real challenge for the French, and quite different than the previous publications. And here we've got the map for the Battle of Hall. Very similar to the layout for the print and play version. Obviously the graphics are a much higher quality. We have a few differences. We don't have the little covered bridge markers here. It looks like instead they just have the elevated road that that goes through, crosses there at the river, and then here we've got the terrain out behind Hall, nice and wide and open for the Prussians to go fleeing through. I did print out Hall a number of years ago, and just as a point of comparison, I have the print and play version of the map here. As you can see, many of the elements are similar. The orientation is slightly different. Things have been turned a little bit on their side with the newer version. And the quality of the graphics is quite a bit better too. So I'm looking forward to playing Hall. It was a fun battle previously. I'm looking forward to it now here on this new map with what looks like a few variations.